The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I am going to give a few seconds, because I understand that people are having a few issues getting logged in. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It'll say that the session's in like 18 hours, but it's not. So it's not giving them a chance to, have the like on-call waiting type of thing. So they're having to log in like right as I hit start. My day is going good, thank you guys. It's gonna be an interesting weekend, but my day is going good. Like the screen says, hopefully that you can see, my name is Mackenzie Burton, and I help everyone out with beginner pitchforks. Everyone can see my screen? Okay, oh, I didn't launch it before I started. This might not work. Oh, it popped up. Sometimes Ink2Go is a little fidgety. Okay, so we had a good session this morning here. If you're able to make it and are interested in the power of 62, it's a really good session. And then, of course, you all are here right now. And then later on today, we have Clay with his advanced waveology session, which is always a good session, in my opinion. But I enjoy waveology, so, might be biased. Then tomorrow we have, excuse me, we have Josh starting us out for the day with beginner harmonic scans, also a great tool. They work really well with pitchforks. Then later on we have Tim with waveology and more 62. 62 is a really powerful tool to have in your belt. I guess that was how that phrase would go. I said tool, not arrow. And then we have Mr. Ma, whose session changed last week to this time slot right here. And do your own conversion for wherever you are in the world. These are all in Eastern time. Oops, that's covering it now. Eastern time. Then, to wrap up the week for us, we have Clay very early in the morning with wedge alerts, which could also be used with pitchforks, just saying. And then Tony wraps us up for the week with beginner waveology. Him and Joshua both have a beginner's waveology. It's kind of looking at the same thing from two different perspectives. It's really good to hit up both those classes if you are interested. And now I will do everyone's favorite part, and to save my voice, I record it. So here we go.
Risk warning and trading disclaimer. Trading foreign exchange on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors or traders. There are no guarantees of profit, and most forex traders lose money trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before deciding to invest in foreign exchange, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should only invest money that you can afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with foreign exchange trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts or uncertainties. This presentation and all of its content, including past trades and potential trade setups, is for educational and informational purposes only. Using any strategies, techniques, or software mentioned in this presentation is also risky. We make no guarantees of profit of any kind. The presenter is not a licensed financial professional and therefore will not give any financial advice or recommendations. All information in this presentation is our opinion and may not reflect the truth or reality in the world of trading. Please use your own good judgment and seek advice from a qualified consultant before believing, accepting, and acting upon any information in this presentation. This is not a solicitation to invest. Hypothetical performance results have many inherent limitations, some of which are described below. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or to adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in the presentation of hypothetical performance results, and all of which can adversely affect actual trading results. Rewards plan disclaimer. Your actual commissions and residual income will vary dependent on your work ethic, hours you spend on customer acquisition, and the quality of the customer you refer.
Okay. Did I lose anyone in all of that? Awesome. I got one yes, so, but they were able to say yes, so I think they're still here. Okay, this is, like I said, beginner pitchforks. You bring, it's a Q&A format. You bring questions, and I do my best to answer them. If I can't find the answer, I will find the answer through someone else and get back to you guys. Either I'll answer it here in the next one, might do it. If it's just a simple thing, might just message you on Facebook and be like, you know, hey, I got the answer. Here it is. But yeah. So the more questions you bring, no matter how trivial you may feel they are, bring them. It could inspire someone else to answer or question something related to it, and it just kind of has this beautiful unfolding event. But if you don't ask questions, then there's no questions to be answered, and then we all just, you know, go home. I did have one question on Facebook. If you guys aren't able to come to the sessions, or you have limited ability to text or write a question in the text box, you're driving, you're at work, and you're cheating, what have you, feel free to send them to me on Facebook. You'll see me around the group. I normally post a warning for the session. Just message that account and give me your question, and I'll answer it normally in the next session, or if it's just a simple, you know, is this right, is this wrong kind of a thing, like the direction the fork needs to be facing, because it's been answered, you know, within the group or on the session multiple times. I might not bring that to the session, but if it's something that I think is you know, able to benefit other traders, I'll bring that to the session. So yes, definitely bring any questions you want. I'm not a I don't know how many of you know Steve Greger as far as being a coach. Many of you probably know who he is because you're here. But if you are newer and haven't really been to him in any of his training sessions, he has the nickname Grizzly Bear. normally when we're not paying attention and we ask questions more than once on something that he already covered, he'll get a little harsh. But I'm not like that. I really enjoy working with beginners because I understand. Maybe it's just because I haven't been trading for years and years and years like some of the other coaches have. I understand that beginner confusion a little bit more, and I've always enjoyed helping uh, younger kids when I was in like 4-H and stuff. I would be the first one to like kind of gather up the kids and be like, "Hey, it's okay. There's a lot to take in. Let's just work on it little by little." Um, so I'm not here to bite your head off. If you come and ask the same question every week, you actually might get a little bit of a different answer because, we're affected by how our morning's gone. And sometimes things will click for me and I'll be like, oh, this is a really easy way to explain this. And then other times it'll be super long-winded and confusing. So definitely, if you've asked a question before and you still don't get it, do not feel like you can't ask it again because I'm definitely like I want you to get it and I want you to come here and listen and, learn what we're here to learn. But if I explain it in a way that didn't make sense to you, definitely ask it again and see if we can help get it cleared up for you. Sorry, went on a little bit of a rant there. I'm totally capable of doing that. I will say that's my mother's side. My dad's really quiet. Okay, there's a few questions. Let me read them. Okay, this is a question. The CDX fork is valid when drawn. The XA fork needs 3 hits for validation unless one of the hits is on the C or the D. It says mediums. Did you mean medians? Like here is a fork. Let me get kind of clear. Oh, I'm on my box. No, that's fine. I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Okay, so upper parallel, lower parallel, median. This is more of a harmonic scans question, but I will go ahead and answer it because it is a pitchfork question as well. Okay, I will just throw this away. Okay, this isn't an actual scan. I'm just getting this on here for an example. And I kind of see this. It kind of looks like a scan. Okay, so the question is, this drawn right away. It's an Andrews traditional, which means you don't need any touches for validation. It's not a great one. As you can see, there's a lot of noise right here. Not really a great respect of the line. But then you can also put forks on your XA. And in this case, it won't work. Oh, no, yeah, it will. And you can set a line to either the C, which is right here, for anyone that I cannot draw evidently today, or you can set it to the D, which in this case, it's facing the wrong way, right here. I don't know how many of you know of this. It might help someone. You can take this tool right here, and I actually have a 50%. Right here. And you see how, well, I went the wrong way. Let me turn this off to where you can actually see that out to the, you see how this 50% line is right here? You can use that to know if you're facing your forks the correct way. If it's above the 50, it's going to be facing the incorrect way on this fork, as this fork's supposed to be facing up. That's basically a Fibonacci tool. You want to have a little bit of an angle. So anything below that 50 is going to have you facing the correct way. If anyone needs that as a little bit of an aid for setting your best fits when, or even your traditionals, and you think it might be facing the wrong way. But yes, Steve has said in the past that, oh, shoot. I had that all paused that whole time. I'm so sorry. I paused it so I could get my chart on here without anything up there. Okay, let me see. Just go back. So you can put a Fibonacci tool on with a 50%. You all can see, right? At least I haven't done that in a long while. Okay, so the 50% line, 50% between your swings here, and anything below this 50% is a fork that's facing the correct way. And then above it, even just slightly, since you can see these straight lines, it opens up as it goes down in time ever so slightly, but it is still facing the incorrect way. So there's that. I'm so sorry. Okay. As Steve has said in the past, you can take these scans and set them to the C or the D as long as it is facing the correct way. And then you can take the next bounce off of that fork, which is technically the second bounce. But since there's so much that comes into this right here, it's high probability. And like I said, I just threw that on there. That's not an actual scan. Don't judge me. Okay, let me, all of you telling me, yeah, we can't see it. I'm just going on this long rant. Let me get rid of some of these and find the other questions. Oh, no problem. I know it's been weird getting onto the sessions, and I don't know what changed. I don't know if GoToWebinar changed, if we set it up different, but it's giving everyone that session will start in umpteenth hours, and then you have to refresh the page sometimes. Sometimes it goes straight away. Sometimes you have to refresh it. Me personally, I try to start the session, like I don't actually start it, but I try to get it to where you guys can actually log in a few minutes ahead of time, because on my end I'm just sitting here ready to go. All I have to do is, hit broadcast. But if I start the session and get it to where it's getting ready to go, instead of waiting until the very last minute, hitting start broadcast, and then the whole thing goes up and, and we do all the things that we have to do behind here. If I do all that last minute, then it kind of like makes it to where you guys have to deal with it right that second. I try to do that about 5 minutes before the session starts, to try and negate some of that. But then the other coaches don't do that, so everyone's kind of getting used to having to restart stuff as the session gets started, so they're not even on a few minutes early. It's fine either way. Yeah. I'll try and talk to the coaches and Steve and see if if there's something that we did incorrectly on our end, because there's a lot of people that are just, they're like, okay, the session doesn't start, so I won't be there, and then they see that it was live, then they're like, well, I could have been there. So yeah, I'll try and see if we can figure out what's going on with that, because it definitely didn't do that before, and it is obnoxious. Just on, for me as a attendee going to other coaches sessions, I'm like, this is obnoxious. I know it wasn't like this before. So yeah, we'll try and get that figured out, because it's not keeping anyone from really being able to attend. It's just, it's, it's obnoxious. The way that I think of it is, if I'm wanting to capture, like, say we were, where's that at? I have a box somewhere. Is it in here? I have a box here. Oop. Not if I don't use it correctly. Okay, say we're here. If I touch the marker, it goes up. And we don't know what's in this box. So I'm wanting to put on a fork that's facing upward, because I think this is the lowest point, and I think that price is going to go this way. So I'm wanting everything above here. So I would want my fork, that I just misplaced now, to be facing in the direction that I believe it's going to go. Oops, not like that. So I would have it go in that direction, because I believe from this data that I have, I believe it's going upward. So you don't believe it's going to fall below this part, this price right here. So you want it to go up, because if you believed it was going to fall below this price, you wouldn't want your fork, or if you believed it wasn't going to fall below this price, you wouldn't want your fork going down. And then, opposite is true. Right here, maybe. I don't think I would think this, but just an example. You have your, oops, not that. You think the price is going to be going down, so you don't think it's going to go above here. You want your highest point, and then you face it, go in that direction. Your swing high, you don't expect it to go any higher. Your swing low, you don't expect it to go any lower, is kind of how it works in my head. Please tell me if that doesn't make sense. I will find another way to explain that. Awesome. Okay. I did have a question on Facebook. I'll go ahead and get that. Oops, sorry. And if you guys have any other questions, definitely get them in the question box. This way I just don't forget this one. Okay. The question was, I am sure I know what direction the fork has to go in an up or downward channel, and what makes a good fork. Hits on the upper, lower, and median. But how far back in time can you really take it? It's a good question, because forks, you can go back to the very beginning. I won't do it on a 15-minute chart, because there's been a lot of 15-minute increments since 1990 something. But you can go, I was playing around. you can go back to the beginning of time. And as you can see, this is when, here, this is when you had to have the big money to even get into it. So there's not as much movement because it was a smaller market. I'm so sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. So you can go all the way back to the beginning if you wanted to. But that doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're wanting to have current data. The fork never really goes, I don't want to say invalid, because price can come back down into it or up into it. A lot of coaches I know have said that they even keep their forks on from months ago, never really erasing anything. And then price will come back down and it's still as great as it was when price left. So if you're just practicing drawing, I would go back, find whatever you think is a good swing, and just practice with it. There is no limit of forks that you can go and draw. Like Steve has said, we want to see 100 pitchforks posted in the Scans, Forks, and Fibos page, but that doesn't mean that that's all you've drawn. That's just the ones that you've gotten, critiqued on. So go and play and draw, and if you really wanted to, you could draw 100 forks in a day, no problem. Just, getting that RAS in there. That's why forks are fantastic. It's the one thing that you actually can go back in time and really see along with trend lines. Which really is what a fork is. It's a really, really awesome trend line. But yes, to answer the question, you can go all the way back in time to the beginning, draw all the forks that you see all up until current day. You can do that. For practicing. For trading, it's more practical to, come up and have the more recent swings. One, because it's less data to be looking at. But two, that's what you're trading. You're not trading the past necessarily. You're, not live trading, but demo, live on the charts. Waiting for the data points that you need to enter or exit the trade. And a fork from 1997 isn't necessarily going to be what you're trading off of. It could be. It very well could be. But I bet you could probably find something that's within the past few months that's a little bit easier to trade off of. Okay, let me see what else is here. I like I was saying, I won't chew anyone's head off. I have 4 kids. I get asked the same questions all the time. So so I have a pretty decent tolerance for it. The Pitchfork course is being reframed. I don't believe he has released it. I know for sure that he'll post it in the Scans, Forks, and Fibos, Scans, Forks, Fibos, and Waveology page. When he does re-release it. It was all part of the original Shredder program, and now he's trying to break all that up to where if you're just wanting forks, you can get that. If you're just wanting, tab 29, because it was all one package, and now he's kind of put it in separate ways. I was told sometime in November there would be something going on, but we're here and I haven't heard anything else. So I am not holding out hope for it to be in November, but who knows? It could be. I know that there's been some people come in and they've asked, and I was like, all I can tell you is that I know it's going to happen and hopefully soon. And they're like, that's what you said last time. I'm like, well, I don't know. Because I don't control any of it, I promise. I like to be able to answer the questions, and I know that it's not very it's not a good feeling to get your question answered with I don't know. But that's the only answer I can give on that one. Okay. Is it okay to have more than one fork on the chart? And if so, can they be in the same direction or do they need to be in opposite directions? That is really trader's choice. I personally normally have 2 forks on my chart when, when price really allows for it. Like, come on. I would probably have one here, just using, like it came up and consolidated for a little bit and then gave this low to this high and then it came down. So I would probably have this one on there. Let's see. See if it does anything. I would probably keep it there for right now because of, oop, that's not an energy point. Because of that touch and this touch. And something that I've seen a lot in the, why I can't get that squared on there. Something I've seen a lot in the group is, let me find one. Like they'll have this right here and be like saying, can't remember how these work. Yeah, there we go. That's their validating touch. When they have this fork or candle right here breaching and then it breaches after, it's not a validating touch to me. You may go to another trader and hear differently. Please let me know. I'd love to listen to their reasoning on it. But that's not a validating touch for me. It needs to have clean clean candles around it, I guess is what you could call it. Where this comes down and touches and then it's not really breached for a while, comes through, checks, goes down to this Fibonacci, comes through, checks right here, and then goes. That's more respectful. Whereas down here, or even right here, where this is circled, this comes really close, then goes away, then comes through, then goes back up, then comes through, then goes back up. That's not respecting the line. You wouldn't want to trade any 2-pip pullback off of that. I wouldn't want to, at least, because I can't trust that. Whereas here, it comes up, tags, retreats, and it's still working its way up there. I would maybe take this trade. It's really close to the line right there. And of course, disclaimer, past performance, not indicative of future results. All of that stuff that we read at the beginning and I'll show at the end. So I'd have that one and maybe see what this looks like. That's a traditional. If that would have come up, I could have taken that. Let's see what this, come on, looks like. I like that a little bit more. It passes through, checks, and then comes up. It is working its way. If you can see right here, it stopped on that median, bumped up, and now it's working through again, which is that's a good move too. It's much different than what you see right here. Is everybody kind of understanding the difference between this and this? I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. Okay, so is everyone understanding the difference between the red circle and the white circle? I want to make sure that I explained it clear into how it's still breaching of the line, but it's different. Right, this is a more clear rejection. It's not the best, I won't lie. This is actually really wicky right now, and I probably wouldn't be trading it just because of the wicks. This is better as far as being a clear rejection. Okay, awesome. Do I use the 62? Yeah, I do. I try to keep this chart relatively clean. I mean, I use tab 29 in my personal trading. So I mean, that's a whole nother thing that's really overwhelming to some people. And I really try to keep the session where you can come and ask that same question over and over again and not feel like you're hindering anything or being way too beginner. It's beginner pitchforks. I'm here to, not be super flashy. Not that the other coaches are, but what they do for me where I am in my training is I get awestruck still. Like I'm like, that is so cool. And pitchforks are still really cool to me, but this being the super basic portion of it, I feel like I've gotten it down pretty pat. It's still super cool to see, and I still use them. It's just the other stuff is, for me, flashy. It's almost SOS for me. It's shiny object syndrome, but at the same time, I'm actually using it, so Okay, I have purchased tab 29. Are you how do I say this? Have you gone through the training material videos archives, whatever you want to call them? Or have you you got it and haven't done anything? Does anyone else have any questions while he's replying to that? I know sometimes you're trying to type and think and be clear, and so take your time with it. I won't end the session. Um, Hold on just a second. Okay. Yeah, is there any other questions on Pitchforks? And still waiting to hear if you've started watching or nothing at all. Okay. So you've gone through the training that's specific for tab 29? If so, oh no, you haven't. Okay. Why? You're fine, Gary. It tells me when someone's gone offline. Okay. Are you afraid to start watching it, or because there's quite a bit? Have you like even just skimmed through and seen what was there, or have you not opened the link at all? Or whatever he gives now. I don't know. It was a link when I did it. Well, go ahead and open it. Like opening it, it's not Pandora's box. They're not gonna let out all kinds of, you know, um, just open it. Um, go through there. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. Um, I'm pretty sure he said it publicly, so I shouldn't get in trouble for saying this. It's over 90 hours of training, and it's not something that you're gonna do like in a weekend. There's way too much. I mean, that's from start to finish, of course. Uh, yeah, just go in, watch one, and I would suggest maybe just watching through, not necessarily taking notes, just kind of absorbing everything. Which, having been in some of the sessions here, you will pick up on the smaller things because there is some repetition to it, and just kind of let it all sink in. You will not get everything the first time you watch it. There's just too much. Um, I've watched it 3 times now, and I'm still picking up things. Like as I'm going through watching it, I'm like, duh, that makes so much sense now. Now that I've gotten another part, you know, and it's a little by little thing. You're not gonna get it all at once, and you know, don't be afraid to watch it. I personally was like a kid on Christmas. I went the moment I got that email, was like, yes, I'm so excited. Um, so, don't be afraid of it though. And just go in knowing that you're not going to get it and being willing to accept that and know that your ego is going to try and tell you that you get it and then not be upset when you post and people critique things. That's the most important part of all of the trading, whether you're doing tab 29, wedges, forks, trend lines, 62, harmonic scans, trying to remember all that we have in here. Any of it, anything that you are learning here and posting in the group, you have to be willing to take what is told to you and apply it. And if you don't understand it, you have to be willing to admit that you don't get what someone's saying and ask for clarification. That's the only way that you're going to, one, learn in anything in life. Two, it's the only way that you're going to become successful in trading. A lot of people think it's a super easy thing, get it over the weekend, trading. And if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So you have to be willing to take that time, and it's not going to happen overnight. Your ego is not going to disappear. You're going to have that with you the rest of your life. It's learning how to deal with it. Learning that when it's at play, you have to be able to take a step back. And a lot of people, the hardest thing for so many people to do is apologize. Because even in the group, you'll see that Zoe or Clay or someone will be talking to someone 15, 16 comments deep on something, and the other person is maybe not knowingly, but they're fighting them on, no, you're wrong, person that has been doing this for 8, 10, years, which sometimes we are, and that's fine. But you have to understand the difference between actually the person being wrong and you just not wanting to admit that you're wrong. So it's a whole thing. You're never going to completely get rid of your ego. It's something that you have to, you have to live with. You have to, not control it necessarily isn't quite the word I'm looking for, but keep it in check. Know when your ego is taking control of you versus you taking control of it. And then, like with a lot of people that come to the sessions here, they'll watch the pitchforks, they'll go and draw them on their own, but you don't see them post in the group. That's ego. That is afraid to be wrong, and your ego is protecting you, saying, nah, you can learn this on your own. You got this. They'll tell you you're wrong, but they're wrong. They're just trying to hurt your feelings. None of that's happening. That's all in your head. And your ego is there to protect you. And it's trying to protect you from the, oh man, I posted this, it's wrong. There's 18,000 people in here that know I'm wrong. None of those people care. Not a single one. They're like, oh, he got it wrong. No one's doing that. It's all your ego. It plays it up in your head, and it really, there's a military term I'm thinking of, but I'm not going to use it. Don't let it do that. Draw your forks, post some, get feedback. It's really that simple. I mean, take your demo trades, post them. Don't lie. That's not going to help you. If you lie about, oh, I took this trade, which we've caught a few people doing, more so with the waveology stuff is easier to catch because the charts are reloaded. If your charts are all, blocky, you can't tell what was actually happening. You need the live data on the waves. And it's very much an ego thing. But yeah, just start. It's only going to get harder to start if you don't do it now. The longer you allow yourself to not post in the group, to not watch the training, to not to not start demo trading after you've gotten to the point where you're starting demo trading. You're just holding yourself back because you're afraid to fail. And that's not helping you. You're basically failing before you start. And that's not helpful. You have to I think we almost forget that we've gone through this in grade school, where we literally came into school knowing nothing. Many of us, when we went into grade school, didn't know how to spell our first name. Some of us didn't even know our last name. And, look, here we are. We're spelling our first name without even messing up once, not having to erase it. And we just forget over time that we have that. Okay, sorry. Totally went on a rant there. Guess it's a soapbox. I wasn't mad about anything. Let's see. Yeah, he was Nicholas. Yep. I would suggest that with any trading, the Fast 33 training, tab 29, Pitchfork Mastery, even all of the super fantastic archive videos that we have in the group. Watch it through once. Just absorb it. And then go back through and watch it again. I personally, I've watched so many recordings, and I watch them at 1.5 because I can pause them. When I hear Steve or Clay or anyone, when I hear them live, their voice is different for me because I'm used to listening to the sped up version of their voice. So when I'm hearing them at their normal tone talking, it's like, wow, you're taking so long, just get the sentence out, because I kind of know what they're gonna say, but it just feels so slow to me. Okay. Yep, we all do. Some people don't feel like they have one, have an ego. They do. It's just it shows in different ways. It's not all, beating your chest and growling. That's that's one version of it, but there's many. Can you start posting demo trades before completing posting your 100 pitchforks? I know that some start posting at 50. I would say if you can get to the 100, it more so shows yourself that you do have more control over your ego. But some start posting at 50, and I would say if you're going to do that, make sure that the last 20 posts that you've had no corrections, like major corrections. If it's well, that's kind of wiki, watch it, then it might, be okay. But if it's like you're facing the wrong way, things like that, just the little things. And then like if they're best fits and your validating touches aren't good validating touches, I would want to make sure that the feedback that I've gotten from the last several forks, knowing that someone's seen it. When I say that, I mean a coach or admin has liked your post or commented on it, showing acknowledgement that they've seen it, read through it. If you don't have that on your post, tag one of us. That's what we're trying to do here, is to help you guys understand what we're trying to help you understand. I know I posted more than 100 before I even did post a demo. Just because I personally didn't feel like I was there yet to be doing it. But yeah. It really is individual trader progression. Some people get it really quick, and others it takes a little bit longer. I don't know if any of you have heard Steve talk about the shredder training and the 100 green trades, which is just it's a 2-wave exhaustion thing. Won't talk about it more. It's a super simple in and out done type of a thing, and it's super repetitive. And so many people are like 25 in and they're like, okay, I'm ready to go to the next one. And he's like, no, you're not. You need to get this, you need to get it clean. And that's where all the repetition comes in. It's being able to do it without thinking about it. And if any of you haven't watched the Trader's Psychology video in the group, I suggest going and watching it because it's a good one. I've watched it several times. Always pick up something more. Normally that I need to drink more water, but you know. Didn't mean for it to taste bad. Just try to be honest. Okay, yes, the limit is 2 posts a day in the group. That's every 24 hours. Like if you post your first trade at 10 a.m. and then your next one at noon, you can post one at 10 a.m. and then another at noon. It's not it's Monday evening, I post something, oh, it's Tuesday morning, I can post more. That way we don't have it too cluttered up and everyone gets a fair share of being seen. That is for everyone. Not just to the 100 posts, but if you're doing harmonic scans, if you're doing pitchforks, if you're doing wedges, it's all of it. I do not know for you as far as tab 29. I know it was in a separate group. I don't know if that is coming into the scans group. That's something I would ask Steve about for clarification on where you need to post your stuff for tab 29. Is the disclaimer needed? It is needed on the wedges, and I think it is needed on demo trades. Wedges, always. Demo trades for anything else. But to just post a regular fork, I don't think it is needed. If it's just a setup, not any entry exit information, it's just you drawing on your chart. I don't believe there is, but I will double check and get clarification on that. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. I don't think I run into anyone else's session, so if you have a question, feel free to type it up real quick. If you have a question, first say I have a question, send it, then type it up, and I'll wait for you. But if not, that'll be the end of it. Thank you all so much for coming. Like I said, questions, feed questions. And I hope everyone got something out of today and maybe spark more questions as you work through your charts through the week. But yeah, like I said, any question doesn't matter. If you think it's a dumb question, I will do my best to answer it. And my whole goal is that this session is something that you can come to, not feel like it's super intense. You can come here, joke around. I think I am one of the most sarcastic coaches, just so you know. I try not to be sarcastic because I don't know how you guys are, but I can take the sarcasm. I want this to be a session that everyone can come, and it's more of a friends and family type thing than a, other dynamic. Okay, I don't see anyone asking or saying that they have a question, so I will find my thing here. Maybe, no, I won't. I broke it. Man, I did break it. Where did I put it? Ew. I have to put that back up there. I broke my computer, guys. Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm good now. I have to put that up there. It's part of the rules. All right. I'm glad that you all got something out of it. It was a good session. I know last session there wasn't any questions, and I always feel bad because then I don't have anything to, because I'm not supposed to be just, the term used was spoon feeding. You guys are supposed to come and actually get something out of it that you're needing help with. So, all right, awesome. For those that are going to be on for, put that up there real quick. Clay's session later, or any of the other sessions. I'm sure that you all have a way to get this information by now. I will see, well, not technically see you guys there, but I'll be there with you, except for this one. This one's a little too early for me. All right, with that, you guys have a great week. Stay safe. Thank you for coming.